Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of the KB Corner. This is your host, KB. And before we get into today's topic, I would like to discuss the reason and the the concept behind starting this podcast. In this podcast, the main focus for us is to discuss the topics and the areas that are highly relevant for the average citizen today, things that affect our lives, and things that affect our thinking, things that affect our how we basically view the world around us. And this is something that we have in mind for the podcast. And this brings us to today's topic, which is about digital media. So, understanding digital media is very important because it's a part of everybody's life today. The way that smartphones have penetrated the global consumer market in the past decade is just unbelievable. Almost everyone in the world has access to internet. The reason I'm discussing this is because it has changed the way we seek information. It has had a huge impact on our information seeking behavior, and because of the information that we get online, we also develop a view of the world around us, and we develop an understanding about how the world works around us. So that's why I thought it's going to be a good starting point for the podcast, where we start discussing digital media and is it designed to divide people? Let's dig deep into it and let's figure it out. Before we get into the topic, let's just understand what digital media is. So anything that we access through our phone, our tablet, or laptop, and any device that we use to access the internet, and anything available on the internet. So, for instance, all our social media websites, the search engines, any informative websites, they all constitute digital media. So, social media, you can say, is a part of digital media where user generated content basically drives the show, while other websites are also part of digital media where user generated content might not be the major part of it, but it's an informative website. But anything accessed through a phone over the internet is a part of digital media. And then there's a valid question that arises: why do these platforms exist? Uh, let's take the example of Facebook. It it takes a lot of resources to keep that platform up and running. So, what's the basic motivation behind it? The simple answer is Facebook exists to earn money, as do all other digital media platforms. Uh, the basic motivator behind is to earn capital or money. But it's interesting how these platforms operate because their business model is based on engagement. So the more engagement that they can drive, generally, the better earning prospects they have. They mainly earn through advertisements, and social media is unique in a way because it provides advertisers with an unprecedented amount of targeted communication. So the amount of information that these platforms gather from their users, it allows them to cater and cater the information that the viewers are shown in a way that it aligns with their thinking. So it's only logical. If I take my example, I'm more likely to engage with content online that interests me, that are aligned with whatever I agree with or whatever my thought process is. So that is why the algorithms on these platforms are designed in a way that would encourage engagement. So, for example, if somebody is really fond of dogs, they like dog content, they like dog memes, dog videos, their digital media bubble would be populated with dog related content. As opposed to another person who likes cats and his or her main interest is in cat content, so their digital media bubble would be populated with cat content. So, for someone who's interested in cats, if they see something, a video, let's say, on YouTube about cats, uh, they're more likely to engage with it. Engagement means either clicking the video, or clicking the link, commenting on it, liking it, whatever. Uh, it it tells the platform that you're interested in that sort of content, and algorithms learn your online behavior. So in future, you're going to see more content that is along the same lines. The business model is nothing short of a genius. It gives advertisers what they want. They use their resources efficiently. They reach the audience that they want to reach, and these platforms make money out of it. The consumers get entertainment out of it. So everybody's happy, in theory. What happens in reality, which I believe is an unintentional consequence of this business model, is that eventually everybody starts living in their own reality, because whenever they see whenever they go online, because it's a big part of our information seeking behavior these days, we access the internet for information. So whenever we go online, we are exposed to information that's aligned with our thought process, that is aligned with what we as a person believe in, and that is generally aligned with what we like and what we would what we would probably engage with. So everybody over time just gets into their own bubble, and because we're so used to being to living in our own bubbles, uh, the tolerance to listen to an opposing view, and the tolerance to listen to someone who necessarily is not saying something that you agree with, has gone really low. So we see intolerant behaviors all around us these days because of this phenomena that's happening. Over the past decade, everybody has reached out to the internet as the first source of information. It's a big part of our lives these days. And because of that, we see a lot of intolerant behavior popping up. Uh, we saw that in the 2016 elections. We saw that in the capital tax. We saw that in Brexit. Anything that is good enough to uh, push a severe emotion is promoted on social media platforms, because that is something that's going to generate more and more engagement. The reason I'm discussing this is because uh, I don't believe that the internet is a bad thing. I think the internet is tremendous in the way it has democratized information, in the way that an average user has the same voice as a big corporation. That's just tremendous. It has empowered people, it has empowered segments of the population that were whose voice was previously not heard, but now they have a platform where they can communicate and they can have their voices heard. But the issue is that a lot of us do not understand how these platforms operate and how these platforms change the view that we have of the world around us. So, the reason for this episode is to make people aware of what it is that basically happens behind the scenes whenever we see a video or a meme or a tweet or a search result. What happens behind the scenes, and what brings that piece of information to our screens? Because for googling the same word, I might see completely different results as opposed to the person sitting next to me. So we need to be mindful of how these platforms operate in order to view the information that we see online critically, and also have an open mind of listening to someone who might have an opposing view. Once we realize that the information that we see online might not be the full truth, but a fabricated version of it that's tailored to my liking, uh, I think we can be more tolerant towards listening to people who might have opposing or different views about the world, about important issues that we face, and it overall can encourage a more tolerant society, a more tolerant global community, and it might have a positive impact on the world of the future. So that wraps up today's topic. Please do let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions. We'll make sure to incorporate your suggestions in future episodes of the podcast, and we'll try to discuss more interesting topics in the future as well. Thank you for listening.